Hi, it's Michelle and I'm here again helping you to make 10k days your new normal. Now I am on a mission to help 1 million female entrepreneurs to increase their income and their happiness and fulfillment levels. Now you can catch a new YouTube every single week from me, totally free, helping you to up-level your success, up-level your wealth, up-level your abundance and your happiness levels. Now today's a bit of a spiritual one, and I know this isn't going to be for everybody, but I'm okay with that, because for me to be totally true to you and to myself, I need to share with you everything that I have done and continue to do to increase my wealth levels and experience the sort of outrageous success that I've been able to experience. So that means that I can't leave anything out. I can't not tell you things through fear of being judged, because that wouldn't be right for you. So I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not religious, although I was christened Catholic. I've never really followed that religion. I don't actually believe in religions. I think that they segregate, separate, put you in a box. I find spirituality a lot more all-involving, encompassing for everybody. And for me, spirituality has played a huge part in the success that I've been able to go on and create in my business. They're very closely aligned. And that's why that I choose to spend a proportion of my time every week working on my spiritual growth, because I know there's a direct impact on my success levels in my business. Now, for the last week, I've been taking business tips and manifestation advice from the dead. Now, that might sound a little bit crazy to you. I'm not a spiritual teacher. I'm not a clairvoyant. I'm not a medium. I don't claim to be any of those things. I'm a wealth coach. I help women to create outrageous success by implementing business strategies and the right mindset and manifestation techniques for success. But manifestation, that word has become a little bit of a buzzword. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about the law of attraction. It's probably not a new concept to you either. But what it means to me, let me tell you what it means to me and why this is important in terms of spiritual growth and what I've been learning over the last week from the other side. Now, I believe that everything is energy. This is basic, like first grade science, right? I believe that we're energy. Everything around us is energy. And I also believe that we have the ability to be, have and create anything that we want to, as long as we learn how to do that from an energetic level. So if you think of energy on like a sliding scale, you know, at the top you've got the high energy, the high frequency feelings, because energy is created through feelings, through thoughts. You know, if we're feeling guilty, angry, you can imagine that is quite, low vibration energy. And high vibration energy is things like excitement, love, abundance. What we attract depends on our energy, it depends on our feelings. If we want to attract amazing things, then we need to feel amazing. If we want to attract health, abundance, then we need to feel abundant. We need to feel high energy vibrations. So it's quite simple in terms of manifestation and how I see it. But for us to create abundant, successful realities, we need to see that, in my opinion, as spiritual growth, because for me that is a spiritual experience. They're both very tightly aligned. So that's how I see manifestation. For me, it's about continuously working on myself spiritually to be able to align with source, with the universe, the source of all creation, the part of us that can manifest anything that we want to. Now, that's why I've been allocating time this week to read a book that I want to share with you, because when I said I've been taking tips and business advice and manifestation advice from the other side, I've been doing so with this book. And I will flash this book at the end of the video so that you can go and get yourself a copy if it's something that you think you need to read. I guarantee that it is. Okay, so the book that I've been reading, My Son and the Afterlife. This is about a young boy called Eric, who struggled intensely on Earth in a physical body. He had lots of challenges, things like ADHD, Tourette's. And at the tender age of 21, he took his own life. he just couldn't continue struggling and he felt like he needed a way out. Now, his mum was a doctor, a physician, a science woman, somebody that wasn't really into the woo-woo. You know, she didn't see spirituality, the afterlife, as things that were really important to her. She didn't really have belief systems. She was a massive skeptic. But in losing her son, it kind of forced her into exploring this a little bit because she wanted to know where he'd gone. She had this feeling of, where are you? Like, I feel that you're still around, but where are you? So she kind of started on this journey of spirituality and exploring lots of different things, but with a real skeptic mind. Now, on that journey, she met a lady who claimed that she could channel spirits and have conversations with people on the earthly plane, using her body as a channel to channel the communication from the spirit world. So she claimed to Eric's mum that she would give her the ability to have conversations with her son as if he was here, using her as a channel. Now, this book are those conversations that she had with her son. So this isn't a business book. This isn't a book about manifestation, but the lessons in it are profound. The lessons in it completely blew my mind. And I want to share with you some of my key takeaways. And you know, the first thing that really stood out to me was that this lady almost took on Eric's personality when she was talking as Eric, without ever knowing him when he was here on the earth plane. She was talking like him, using the same language, had the same mannerisms, and even referring to things that only his mum would know to get his point across. So I've picked out 5 relevant points that I took from this book that we can really take note of and implement into our lives and use as important lessons in our growth as wealthy, abundant, successful women. Okay, number 1. Now, his mum was asking throughout the book what it's like to die. She wanted to know what happens when you leave your body. And this is a common question that we'd all like to know, right? So it's no surprise that she decided to ask her son this question. And he said, well, Mum, it depends on your belief system. He said everything does. Everything when we're alive and when we're on earth depends on your beliefs. And when you die, it's the same. Our reality is created based on our beliefs. So if I'm going to believe that, if I believe that when I die, I'm going to see a white, bright light, then that's what I'll see. And if I believe that I'm going to be welcomed by family members, then that's what will happen, because we always create our reality through our beliefs on earth and when we die. And his mum said, which was a great question, so what about if we don't believe in anything? What about if we believe that when you're dead, you're dead? He said, well, that's what you'll experience until you have a thought. And then you suddenly realise, wow, I'm thinking. Hold on, if I'm thinking, then there must still be consciousness outside of my physical body. And then that thought triggers another thought, and suddenly we begin to slowly believe something else. That belief system expands and evolves and creates a new reality so that we can experience the afterlife. I just found that completely mind-blowing, because if you think of all the quotes that you've probably heard about, thoughts become things. If you think you can or you can't, or you think you can't, then you're probably right. I think that was Einstein. There's all these really famous, iconic legends that have been referring to the fact that beliefs are the fundamental foundation of everything. And for me, this was such an important lesson from the other side, that that's true. Beliefs are the foundation of everything. If we believe that we're never going to be successful because we're too fat, too stupid, not confident enough, blah, 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 then we're going to be acting in a very different way to somebody that shows up expecting to crush it. We're going to create a completely different reality to someone that totally believes that they can succeed. It's common sense, right? So how do you work on your beliefs? Because I know there's going to be so many people out there watching this that don't quite believe in themselves, don't quite think that it's possible for you to have 10k days, a 7-figure income and wealth in every area of your life. I know the vast majority of people believe that that's not possible for them. So how do we change it? Well, let's look at what Eric said. We change it by creating new normals, by expanding and evolving our belief system. by first of all just recognizing that they are just beliefs and it doesn't mean that they're true, and then thinking, well, let me try anyway. Let me try that anyway, even if it doesn't feel possible. If I don't think I can make 5 sales this week, let's try 1. And when I believe I can do 1 a week, then I'll push it to 2. When I believe I can do 2, I'll be able to push it to 3. Everything is achievable in small steps. Every belief can be changed in small steps by creating new normals for ourselves, recognizing they're just beliefs and choosing to have a go anyway. I don't believe I can earn £1,000 a month from my business. Well, let's try 500. Let's make a plan for 500, and then when we get to 500, we can turn that into 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. The point is your belief expands. Your belief in you will expand when we're consciously aware that it is just a belief and we can change it. Number 2. At one point, Eric's mum asked if he could communicate with her. Is it possible for you to, without the channel being present, communicate with me? Give me information, talk to me. Is it possible for other spirits to talk to people on earth? Is it possible for angels, source, God to communicate with people on earth? And he said, yeah, it is. But sometimes it's hard to reach you because you're on too much of a low energy frequency. And he went on to describe that, in the spirit world, high vibe only. It's only possible to be high vibe. Things like fear, guilt, and low energy feelings don't exist. Therefore, we're always operating on this much higher vibration than is possible on earth. And for me to communicate with you, I have to bring my energy down to match your energy, which is difficult, but it's impossible when you're low energy, when you're stuck in fear, guilt, anger, resentment, grief. I can't reach you. You can't feel me. You can't see me, communicate with me. And this is really interesting because now I've always said that there is a part of us that can access an infinite amount of information. There is a part of us that's all-knowing. And we know it exists. Whether you're listening to this and you're spiritual or not, you will have had nudges like intuition. You will have had moments of clarity where you know exactly what you need to do. You'll have had moments of inspiration where you've had your best ideas and it feels like everything's just coming together for you. It feels like the universe is just aligning everything and everything you touch turns to gold. It feels like you can get over any challenge. Now, what I always say to people is to overcome challenges in business or in life, to know what we need to do, to have access to that infinite amount of inspiration and clarity and creativeness to have and create anything we want to in our business. All of that information is inside of us. We have access to all of that resource, but we don't often tap into it because we get stuck in low vibration energy. When we're stuck in fear, when we're stuck in judgment, resentment, competing with somebody else, anything that's low energy, we don't feel like we have the ability to access that information. We feel stuck, we have the fog, we feel confused. It's like that feeling of I can't see the woods for the trees. And this is why I always say to people, for us to be able to tap into that infinite source of potential, we have to be high vibe. So we should be working harder on our vibration than we do on our business. We should be working harder on feeling good and raising our energy than we do on the physical activities in business. Because if we can be high vibe, everything else takes care of itself. We always know what to do. We'll always have the energy to overcome challenges. We'll always have the creativity to do something next level in our business, but only if we work on it. If you're someone that's getting out of bed every day and getting stuck in activity, business activity, and going through the motions and, not feeling the best version of you and the highest vibration that you possibly could be, then you're working harder than you need to work. Because if you were to spend time just getting out and doing things that you love, I can't tell you how many times that I've just been out having fun and letting go of the outcome and just, being and doing the things that light me up, that aren't business related, and I've had my best ideas. Some of the ideas that have led to me to creating 7-figure incomes, writing a book, all of those ideas came to me when I was just letting go and doing things that I love. So make time for you. Work harder on your vibration, work harder on feeling good than you do on anything else. Number 3, at one point, Eric's mum is asking if life in the spiritual realm is the same as it is on earth. So, do you live in a house? Do you drive a car? Do you get takeout? You know, what does your day look like over there? And Eric says, yeah, if you want to do that, you can. If you want to live in your dream house, you can live in your dream house. If you want a boat, you can have a boat. If you want to eat pizza, you can eat pizza. You create your own reality. You manifest whatever you want to by thinking about it. It's the same as Earth. You have the ability to do that too, Mum, is what he said. But we forget that innate ability to manifest. And we can manifest much quicker in the spiritual realm because we're high energy, high vibration. Things come to us much quicker. But also we don't have doubt that it's possible. We know it's possible. We remember who we are. We remember that we're powerful magnets that can create anything we want to. So we just do it. So it's easier over here than it is for you, Mum, but it's still possible for you. And that was amazing. Like, that one lesson there from that book just blew my mind, because I know manifestation works. I've been manifesting my whole life, so have you. I've just put some real focus and intention on the things that I choose to manifest being good and being the things that I want over the last 5 years. And that's totally transformed my life. But here's confirmation from a channeling someone from the other side to say, yeah, of course you can do that. It's our innate ability to do that. Number 4, I want to read from a page of the book here, from actual scripts from this conversation, because I think this is absolutely fascinating. So at one point, Eric says, on the earthly plane, we have spiritual amnesia about who we are, why we're there, and what we're doing there, what our talents are. We forget we even have spiritual guides to help us and direct us on the earthly plane. We forget how to manifest things like we do in heaven. And his mum says, yeah, that sucks. It would make life so much easier if we remembered. And he says, yeah, but we often forget that we're there as humans to prevail over challenges rather than get derailed by them. We need to use challenges and traumas to fuel our forward movement, not stop it or drive it backwards. Oh, and we forget why we're interacting with other souls too. We don't put an emphasis on figuring out who we are and that we should have self-awareness. And that kind of sucks, Mum, because that's what we need to do to see others for who they really are. And if we don't have self-awareness there on Earth, it's hard to figure out what our life's work is and then get on with it. What happens is the ego sort of takes over that self-awareness or consciousness. And it's the ego that takes over so much that not only do we have no idea who we really are, we have no idea who other people are too. It's just ego to ego communication all of the time, or ego to ego combat. If you don't have self-awareness and direction, then you're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel depressed and you're not going to know what you have to look forward to. The ego sabotages itself at every turn. That's how it operates. Each day is going to look like the day before. That's when you start asking yourself, why the fuck am I even here? A lot of people get stuck in that. It's really important to know what you have to look forward to. You can't really do that when you don't have self-awareness. Now, I have been saying for as long as I can remember to my clients that you have a purpose. You have a mission in this world that only you can answer, that only you are here to do. You have a unique brilliance, a unique set of talents. We all do. You know, our struggles, our life experiences, our traumas, our darkest moments have made us who we are today. They're things to be grateful for, they're lessons, but they're also signs to who we really are and what we're here to do. We go through everything for a reason. Things don't happen to us, they happen for us. And that's something that I always remind my clients of. You know, people come to me feeling lost, saying, I don't know if I'm doing the work I should be doing. I don't even know what I'm meant to be doing. I don't love what I'm doing anymore. I want to be in business doing something that I'm passionate about, something that lights me up. I want to be wealthy. I want to have a good life, but I don't know where to start. And I always do work with them on finding out who they really are at their core, when we remove the ego and we remove the judgment and the things that they think they should be doing, the things that other people have told them they should be doing or shouldn't be doing. I can't tell you the amount of amazing women I've worked with that have come to me and said, I always wanted to be a musician, but my dad said it didn't pay and it was too competitive and I should get a real job. I could work for hours doing makeup or art, but it's just not feasible for me to run a business doing that. I'll never be wealthy doing that. They've taken on all those ego beliefs from other people, they've made them their own, and they've become depressed and stuck. And what I love doing is showing people, yes, you can, because they're the clues to your abundant life, your perfect life, your happiest life, your most wealthy and successful life. The things that you would do for free, the things that you're naturally good at, the things that you're naturally passionate about. And if I was to ask you now, what are those things? What did you do when you were little just to pass the time because you loved it with no agenda and no intention? What thing did you always say you wanted to do but someone told you to get real or get your head out of the clouds? What things and dreams have you given up on because they don't seem achievable or obtainable? They're the things that you should be concentrating on. They're the things that are clues to who you are and what you should be doing. What challenges have you had in the past that you've overcome and you could help somebody else through? I know I was meant to be bankrupt and on my arse financially so I could come through it and teach other people how to come through it. I was meant to struggle in business to the point where I nearly lost my sanity so that I could come through it and teach others to come through it. But it's about seeing our struggles as opportunities to grow. It's about seeing the things that light us up as opportunities to work in our zone of passion, our zone of genius, and not settling. Because when the ego takes over, we end up doing things we don't love. We end up living a life that's not really meant for us. We get depressed, we get stuck. And nobody has to live like that. Last and final point, number 5. And I'm going to read this too, because I don't want you to miss a thing of this part because it's incredible. So Eric says, some people will run towards their issues and get work done. But most people, when they get adjusted to the earthly plane, start caring too much about what others think. They seek approval and acceptance. No one wants to be rejected. So what happens is we start giving away pieces of ourselves until we have no clue who in the hell we are and what we're supposed to be doing. It's a struggle to figure out the answers to those questions and supply us with the challenges that we need to grow. Rediscovery of ourselves is what we're on the earthly plane to do. It's more about remembering and less about learning. It's more about remembering and less about learning. Who are you really? What are you here to do? It's not about learning that, it's about remembering that. That's powerful. Okay, imagine you want to know about brownies. Fudge brownies. So you read the recipe and you think, I've got it. I've read the recipe. I know what to do. I know all about fudge brownies. Well, you don't. You have to make the brownies at the risk of burning your fingers in the oven. But then you taste it and you really, really know what a brownie is. Only then can you truly understand the brownie concept. Now, to me, that was so insightful and so enlightened and so powerful, because what that says to me is we need to work harder on remembering who we are than trying to learn about who we are, because we already know who we are at our core. We need to spend time getting to know ourselves. We need to not think about so much who we should be for everybody else, who we shouldn't be for everybody else, and let go of the things that we think are true about us and spend time really getting to know who we are. So it goes back to my last point. But also, it's about taking action. It's about going after the things we want, knowing that we might get our fingers burnt, but showing up and doing those things anyway, pushing outside of our comfort zone, not letting fear or judgment or rejection stop us from doing the things we need to do to get to the next level of success for us. So many people will say to me, I'm scared of doing live videos on Facebook. What will my friends think? I'm scared of showing up on YouTube. What if somebody sees it and they laugh at me, who I know? All those things are the ego talking, and they're keeping us stuck. They're keeping us in fear and stopping us from reaching our true potential. But what he says quite clearly in there, and I couldn't agree more, is let go of that. Be okay with getting your fingers burnt, because that's the only way you're really going to taste the taste of success. It's the only way that you're ever going to learn the lessons that you need to learn at a deep level by, sometimes falling on your face, but being okay with that, getting up and seeing that it happened for me, not to me. And becoming better in the process so that you can hold your hand out and help somebody else to become better and go through the same challenges that you've been through. That to me is fulfillment. That to me is success. And that's why I do what I do. So I could carry on listing lesson after lesson after lesson from this book, but I'm not going to do that because I'd be here all day. But it's called My Son and the Afterlife. And it's by a lady called, I don't know if it's Eliza or Elisa Medhus. So I'll hold it up for you if you want to get your hands on a copy of it and read for yourself. It's not a business book, it's not a book about manifestation, but you know, every book that I read that grows me spiritually gives me the opportunity to be better and therefore have better results. And I know that'll be true for you too.